Welcome back. WeArEuS and this is Atomfall. So it has been a very long time since I've touched this game or The Last Berserker, that's right. The last few days have been a bit of a nightmare for me. Really, the only reason I came here was because I have the two power cores. I was sure that was going to net a phone call from Hugh Rasps. Well, all that's left now is to figure out which side we want to go to. Which one seemed more profitable but less like a hassle? This one. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one that didn't have the water issues. Haha, you're wrong. Alright. Wait, no. Yeah, well, it's not like it's that big of a difference from before, because there was something in the water anyway.
Power restored in data store Delta computation. Quarantine has been lifted in this sector. Access granted to robotics facility.
We don't want robotics yet. I know that's where the key to the office is, but we don't really need... Oh, frick. I thought I...
Complete. Oberon scattering. Garrow Cooper model. Fit succeeded with high statistical significance.
I thought I heard someone running behind me. Okay, so yeah, there's literally no reason for me to even come down here in the first place. So I don't know why they would bother... Okay, so I just heard a sound that reminded me very much of the bloodsuckers in Stalker 2, or Stalker in general, but most recent memory relates to Stalker 2, and I became upset. I was ready to pull out a gun, but then I remembered where I am, what game I'm playing, and recovered some of my composure. You know, that seems fine. It keeps sounding like there's someone walking around behind me, and I hate that. There's always a little sound. Like a tap or a footstep. Okay, so there's a... Oh. I'm sure that's not going to be a problem for me very soon. Oh, right, there's a door up here. Yeah, like I said, that's not going to be an issue for me. Sooner rather than later. See, there it was again, the sound that reminds me of the bloodsuckers entering their stealth. Okay, yeah, so this is just a different way to enter that place. As I said, the past few days have been a bit of a nightmare for me. So, I typically use my computer for... There are 3 doors. I am flush with choices here. Choices that I don't necessarily approve of, because I don't like having open doors at my back. Especially when outlaws can just walk into this place at any point in time. I mean, I cleared out the first wave and they just haven't reappeared, which I'm ever grateful for. Make no mistake. Requires crane control room keycard. There it is again. Hey! I can't. There we go. So that does work. I'm vaguely aware of what this opens onto. Not a fan of this business, though. I mean, it's not like the goddamn thing's going to come up these steps. What is in the head of that thing? I don't have binoculars or anything. I would like to disable that, please. How may I accomplish this?
Intruder has evaded capture. Returning to patrol.
We really don't have anything to deal with that. Either way? Really? I was hoping it didn't work that way. Apparently this has vision beyond where its laser is pointed. Let's say in a three-dimensional cone, rather than just being able to see anything the laser touches. So the best way of getting around it would be to go underneath it and wait for it to look away. How much ammo do we have? Shotgun. I'm assuming that one is what's loaded in the chamber for this gun. Really? It wasn't even loaded. Yeah, I'm going to kill it because I would rather it not be an impediment, jeez, to my exploration.
Intruder has evaded capture.
It screamed to the entire room. I can't. There we go. Come on. Why does this thing have such a massive physics box? I really wish I could see.
Alert. Sensors damaged. Activating best guess.
Best guess mode, huh? That's cute, actually. Let's see if it can actually see me still. Aside from any noise I might make. With its sensors damaged, I'm hoping it's just blind now and I can do whatever I want so long as I'm quiet. Which works for me. I would still rather try to sneak up on it and take the battery out of its back. I could always use another battery. Weird how the thing is battery operated, but it wasn't active until I powered this section. Most curious.
Potential threat has disengaged.
Has he now?
Patrol.
I'm assuming that battery is its weakness. Anyway, as I said, what I want to do right now is see if it can actually detect me aside from noise. I don't understand. If its sensors are damaged, how is it able to detect anything to best guess? Well, we're going for the battery now. Since it's not blind, even though you've damaged the sensors. I damaged the sensors. Because I'm kind and merciful, of course. I don't want to waste unnecessary ammo. Spare the bullet, spoil the baddie, I guess you could say. Anyway, while we wait for this thing to turn around, as I said twice now, the past few days were rough. The reason why is because Chrome updated, and as anyone who knows, the rats over at Google, in their infinite wisdom, came up with a scummy way to get rid of, what was it, uBlock, the ad blocker, in order to force ads on people watching YouTube. However, right alongside that update, apparently, I don't really think that's the weak point for it. Anyway, alongside that update came a very serious issue introduced into I'm sorry, you what, mate? Why did I take... I am upset. And alongside the update came a bug with Chrome that causes it to stop responding after you closed it and reopened it. Well, it was more like, say you restarted your computer. Of course, Chrome would have been closed, and so when you go back to open Chrome, it would instead open to a white screen or a white window that would eventually cease responding. At first, I figured out that you could just close that and then reopen it and everything would be pretty much fine. I'd probably have to restore my tabs, but that was fine. And got it. Now, shooting it in the sensor probably did a lot more to help than shooting it in the battery, which I just took out of it. Now, if I could damage the battery, it would probably go pseudo-nuclear, let's say. And yeah, I took that health damage in order to get the battery from it. I'm going to go ahead and say worth it. Now that that hassle is dealt with, go ahead and, well, the door's already unlocked. Now I just need to watch out for the turret. Anyway, whoa, I saw it and it was too late. Anyway, as I was saying, I figured out you could close it after ceased responding, reopen it, and it would probably be fine. You might have to restore the tabs, but ultimately that was right. We're waiting for 2 more of those skill points. ultimately it would work out. That's that. This week it stopped working out, basically, which is a problem for me because, truth be told, I have about 1,094 tabs open. It's either a 6 or a 4 or a 9. Most of which I don't remember, as you would expect. I mean, there are 1,000 of them. But I want them all for when I actually one day have time to go through them and deal with them. That time is not now, even though I'm unemployed. Which I am working on, which is one of the issues that having Chrome not work was exacerbating. Because I primarily used...
Reminder for robotics personnel. Mining operations remain on hiatus until the investigation is completed. If you require access to the workings, speak directly with the inquiry team.
There was a notification in the top left, but I was too busy listening to what he was saying. Because it's weird that he just spoke out of nowhere. Can I just disable it? I would assume so. Crane controls. I can jump over here, get down there, maybe disable this turret. It would be nice if I could... What's the word I'm looking for? Why did that have to happen to my ankles? Requires a signal redirector. And yeah, it deals with that guy, so... Super great. Alright. You can't look down here. Don't look at me, I'm naked. I saw that thing down there. For now, I'm going to go up here and hope that the crane control room has... I don't have the key. This is most upsetting. It's fine. It's fine.
Reminder for robotics personnel. All fire drills are temporarily suspended while flamethrower tests are conducted. If you hear the alarm, act immediately.
Where was I? Right. So, not being able to use Chrome was a big problem. And so I spent 3, maybe 2.5 days trying to figure out anything I could to get Chrome working without having to put my tabs at risk. It was not a great time. A lot of Google searching, a lot of trial and error. And ultimately, I did have to uninstall. I say had to, but it honestly wasn't even necessary, much less effective. And eventually, I ended up uninstalling it, uninstalling Chrome and reinstalling it, not just once, but I think 3 times. Also, I installed Chrome Canary, which is their experimental soon to I don't know how to put it. It's the their version of Chrome that's for developers and shows what things are coming in future updates, I suppose. Barred from the other side. Nice. Alright. So I used that. Oh, red means scary. Uh-oh. Anyway, so I used that and... Oh, that brings me in... Okay. And it did work. It does work. It even allows access to the... what are we... The extensions that Google wants you to stop using and made up an excuse to cause you to stop using. uBlock, any of the other ones that, well, were murdered because they wanted to get rid of uBlock, all of those still work on Chrome Canary. The only issue is that my tabs, of course, didn't transfer, so, I mean, that sucks the biggest of dicks. Oh, come on, man, get out of the way. You're old news. Surely there is a signal redirector. I know I didn't interact with whatever that was over there that led to the blue stuff like that, but I mean, can you blame me? There's a turret that has nearly infinite visual range. And I can't disable it. I could probably kill it. But if I don't have to waste the ammo, why would I?
Reminder for robotics personnel. Stand clear of the heavy lifters during operation. Don't be a pulped Peter.
Don't be a pulped Peter. That is gruesome. So yeah, the Google searches I did that ultimately led me to Chrome Canary eventually led to me asking the right questions that led to the discovery of what is actually causing the problem with Chrome that causes it to not respond. So this is probably leading in from the other powers. Yep, the other data store. That's the one. Now I won't be able to go in here, so this kind of sucks, but there's going to be another robot, huh? Probably even another turret. I would really appreciate having the signal redirector now. I mean, I could probably just kill that thing and just... How much ammo do we have? 13 when we started with 7? Nope, 8. So there are apparently 4 data stores, which means I'm going to have to kill the next robot as well to get its core. Right, I forgot this was over here. You like this. John Steele, Special Agent. Hold on. I don't like how you open things with F and then take them with E. That is... Why are there 4 bottles? Oh, I think that's for crafting, not... That's still weird. Honestly, I could go to the other side and or power this on. I actually really wanted to do that. Get that other robot killed.
They are machines and have no understanding of the fragility of humans.
As if you guys needed proof that my suspicion was correct. So there will be another robot coming out. I probably can get the upper hand on it. I need to see if that turret there can see me over here. Don't imagine so, but we really don't have a very advantageous position to engage this other robot. And I might need this side powered. Yeah, that's definitely a lot higher than I was expecting it to be. That was my mistake. Wasting health for nothing. So what was the fix, you ask, with bated breath? Well, it was painfully simple, actually. Well, I say fix. What was the problem, you might be asking, with bated breath, I meant to say. Well, from the other side, okay. Well, that's actually pretty simple. See, apparently, someone did some testing and on a level that I am just wholly disinterested in. On every possible aspect of Chrome that he could feasibly test. And he discovered, one moment, I lie, and he discovered, oh, great. That's super great. Right. Ah, so that'll be a through and through. Got it. Right, we're going to the other side. And I probably won't be able to get the signal redirect until I get into the office, which I won't be able to get until I go to robotics, which I probably can do now, but I want to make sure that I cover all of my bases by going to the other data store first. Ooh. So, yeah, the guy found out that it's an issue with Chrome Sync that was introduced during an update. Which one I noticed the issue when they first decided to be the rats we all knew they could be. And
Power restored in data store Charlie. Analysis.
and removed U-Block from being a thorn in the side of their...
Access granted to medical facility.
That's not good. Rumored location added to map. Noted.
Status report. Spectroscopy analysis of biological sample 1 was aborted with no positive matches. Partial results have been stored in
we access this place from Casterfell Woods? No, we haven't been to Casterfell Woods yet. I don't like that sound. Two of them at least. I don't like that either. I can't... It sounds like they're below and on this level as well. Yeah, see, that sounded like it's right there. Ooh, frick. I'm sorry, what? It auto-saves, so we won't be put back too far. Because I completely forgot to quick save at all. Oh, okay, so we're right here. Let's get some more health, shall we? This is not a good shotgun for this. I think keeping them in the doorway is the best option, which means we have to put Das Boot to work. Because I want whatever may be in this room. I'll continue. Oh, there are 3 of them. What the frickin'... Okay. So there are 3 of them in that room. And the axe is not good for dealing with them. Good damage, all of that, but not efficient, he says, while whipping it out again. Don't judge me. Okay. I could craft a Molotov. Got enough material for that, so I would really prefer to keep. I would prefer to keep the cloth, but at the very least we do have the med kit. And I don't trust that this is going to do enough damage to help me keep them under control. My idea is to keep them pinned in the door so I only have to deal with one of them at a time, using Das Boot to keep them there. But as you saw, Das Punch seems to be more powerful. Yeah, that works. I don't have a means for, well, defending against their attacks. No dodge, no roll, nothing like that. So The only thing we have is the kick. Let's actually... No, I can't interrupt a swing with a kick. Same goes vice versa. Look freaking... I mean, it might say that, but I highly doubt entering their line of sight is going to keep them pinned to their weird little fungal beds. And they're fast, and they're going to be able to use the stairs, not necessarily the ladders, though they might be able to jump down. Against one, the shotgun might be effective, but three, it's not going to work. I don't have enough of any other ammo. The shotgun is the best choice, and it's not a good one. Oh, right, there's a Molotov already in my inventory. I don't know how I overlooked that repeatedly. Right, I put that in there because it's currency. Bandage first. If it'll make a difference once they start swinging. That's an antidote. Nice, and then you put it out. I actually appreciate that. Oh. Oh. That does not last. Oh, frick! Oh. Oh, crap. Okay. Okay. It is not common that I be surprised. And I understand all of the variables that went into play in me being surprised like I was. I don't like being surprised. I really don't. I go to great lengths to anticipate as many possible outcomes as I can. This shotgun is really not good. It is the highest damage weapon I have. Well, the highest damage. No, we don't have enough rifle ammo. And we do have the double barrel, but Lord knows that's going to be garbage too. I don't I don't understand how, but apparently its damage is actually lower than this gun's, which seems silly. As does trying to fight these guys, but it is possible. The only issue is this guy coming around the corner with his attack makes things difficult. Also, let's forget what happened that previous load, okay? I totally didn't panic, fire at him thinking he was already leaving because the save had somehow changed. And none of that happened. You're imagining things. Let's do this. The only problem is the Molotov doesn't last any time at all. I guess we could do it. We can try it another way. I don't have the Molotov equipped. Let's do something about that. I wonder if I can just pick one to kill. I'm supposed to have a longer stun. Oh. Well, frick, that worked. Color me surprised. Wait. Also, there's blue blood on my axe. I earned that. I don't like feeling like I'm surrounded. So the throwing the Molotov at this guy and then just dealing with the other two and hoping the Molotov would do what I needed it to was a tremendous... I'm certain they're under me, but it's still freaking me out. Because more than one at a time is such a tremendous threat.
They're not coming for us. They were never coming for us, oh God. Perkins is dead. In 12 hours, just how long does it take to evacuate one facility? Word from Jack is that the military have locked down the site. Not a peep from Emma since... What are we calling it? Explosion? They aren't telling us anything. Perkins is muttering about the Lord of the Flies now, the bloody fool. I shall strike him if he comes near me with that nonsense.
Having those doors open was freaking me out. Especially since I never opened this one. Oh, I need so much more freaking cloth. So, I could... Okay, another way that we could have dealt with this, apparently, since just one is enough to kill them, I could have lured all three to the door, kicked them, to keep them in place until that guy got over here, and then just lit all three of them on fire with a single one. Hindsight, but it's now an option because we know that just one is enough to kill. I don't appreciate being here, that's for god dang sure. Well, try to close that until... Yeah, I don't like that. No power. Medical, huh? And that leads somewhere below. Probably... down there to where the rest of those goddamn things are. I mean, if I can just kill or face one at a time, dealing with them isn't too bad. But it is still a gamble. Oh, right, we can do this puzzle now. This probably leads to the other side. See something blue that isn't the fungus. This leads to Slattendale, and it's barred from the other side. Alright. Might be fine.
Reminder for medical personnel. Experimental pneumatic syringes are destroyed and can be dangerous if used incorrectly. Do not play with the experimental pneumatic syringes.
That's probably the stairwell that led from up there. What do you want to bet that the turrets won't target the ferals? Because I would love to utilize them as temporary allies. Anyway, there's a puzzle to be solved. I'm the man for the job. You heard it here first. So, as we figured out last time, this one's, let's make sure. Okay, yeah. So, hold on. Make sure that Yeah, I just need this to start working, so I don't understand. Wait, what? No power, but that's because I need this thing. So... Okay. So then it's this way. Really? What does... It's the order. There's no way to tell which is for which. So that one and this one. Nope. That means it's this one. And I assume... Yep, that's right. From there, let's assume they won't repeat that same pattern. Well, they technically have to, because these are side by side as well. The only question remaining is this one or this one, and I think they'll go in a round pattern. So, I was wrong. Really? What is the logic behind that? Face button. And I guess the face button for this one. That is certainly a weird choice. It's just, it makes no sense. I consider this side that's connected to this thing to be the face. This would therefore be the back. So the back of these two makes sense. But why would they then change it to the face for these two? Weird. Make sure this is unoccupied. Radiation resistance, already have that. Hard fought, by the way. Well, I say hard fought, but... oh, didn't see this. Protesters at the perimeter. There doesn't seem to be anything of note in that note. Nothing of interest on these. The training stimulant was all we wanted from there, apparently. Good enough. We need one more before we can buy whatever it was I had planned that requires 7 of the goddamn things. Whatever it is extremely valuable for me to be willing to wait and then spend 7 of the goddamn things. But I believed it was worth it last episode, and whatever it was, I'm going to stick to it. I am mildly curious about what is over there. Can I reach it? Yeah, I can. That's just an overhang. Let's quick save, so I know where I'm going to return to. Why are there birds down here, by the way? Ah, that leads to Oberon. Let's not. John Steele case. The combat stem. I don't think I could get back even if I did. Yeah, that's not happening. Good enough. Alright, so we have to make the long trip back. Carefully. Can't get to data store A yet, because I have to do it from the inside. Yeah, I have to power that side up first. I'm not going to be able to do that from here. God, I mean, I'm down here already. I just want to see what else there is. Yeah, I can't go in there. That's a shame. We'll take this back up. All right. I hear two. Nope. Sounds like... There appear to only be two. Are you kidding me? I don't know why I held right click. I don't know why I held right click. Rather not waste ammo. Yep, there's no more audio from ferals, so that is a problem that has been solved. You know, wouldn't it be great if there was nothing in here even worth bothering with those guys? Because it certainly looks that way. Okay, so there was a way to get around if you didn't want violence. I wanted whatever this room had, and unfortunately, it was nothing. Copious amounts of nothing. And that upsets me. God dang, are you kidding me?
The wait is interminable. I've run out of work to occupy myself, and it's still not our turn to evacuate. We all felt the shudder of the explosion at the plant, but since then, nothing. Perkins is wandering around, muttering that they've forgotten us. He's an awful fretter at the first sign of trouble, but I'm beginning to wonder if he might perhaps be on the button this time.
Somehow didn't notice this door on the way through. That's convenient. Well. Would you look at the time? An hour and 5 seconds. Well, 5 minutes, not 5 seconds. It was 37 seconds. Have elapsed since we first began the video, and due to the problems I mentioned during the earlier portion of the video, I'm short on time today, so I can't really be as thorough as I would like. Now, before I go about the outro and then go on my way, if you are having the same issue with Chrome that I mentioned before, the fix is to simply get to the settings and turn off the saved tabs sync function, or the saved tabs function, I think save tabs restore, something like that, in the sync section of the settings menu. Now, how are you supposed to get there, you ask? Well, funny you should ask that, because I also happened to find that answer on my way to discovering the cause of the problem. So, if your Chrome is not opening up, you can go to the shortcut in the start menu for Chrome. You won't be able to do, it depends on, I don't know how Windows 11 might work if you have that, so basically just create a shortcut for Chrome. Go to Properties, add under Target -- incognito. that will make it so when you launch Chrome, it will launch the incognito tab first, which for some reason, well, because it disables your profile, causes Chrome to launch without a problem. From there, if you wish, you can go to your settings, change the sync option, and turn off save, tabs, restore, or whatever it's called. I, however, have opted not to do that because, as I've said, oh yeah, I not only have nearly 1,100 tabs, I also have a tab grouper extension, and not a lot of extensions keep those tabs, keep the tab groups when they save your session. I've got three session restore extensions, and only 2 of them restore the tabs with their groupings intact, and only 1 of them does it right. And that one still has another problem where if the unopened tabs stay unopened for too long, it just forgets the link. It's happened before and I hate using it, but it's the only one that works with the tab groups. And by the way, that's Tab Session Manager, if you're wondering. So, now you know everything you need to know if you have that issue with Chrome. Or you can be smart and use anything else that isn't Chrome or Firefox, which basically just leaves you with Brave and like one other browser I can't remember the name of. I've never heard of it before, so I would suggest Brave. Nevertheless, I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. Apparently, there is no second robot, at least down there. I'm sure in the robotics section there will be, and that's going to be a hassle because I'm sure there are going to be restrictions for how I can engage it. After all, remember how I dealt with the first one. I took pot shots at it. From an elevated position, it had no hope of actually reaching because robots don't do stairs. They hate exercise, and frankly, I don't blame them. So we're going to have to be clever, like we were with the the pharaohs. It'll have to do whatever it is that we ultimately do to overcome the robot in the corridors, because I'm sure there's going to be one. Trust me, I'm a professional. And so, with all that said, we will see you next time.